Hi everyone, this is James from Docklands Digital Media. I'm quickly going to overview a tutorial that we did after the Session 7 event, which was done over at Docklands with the Film Club. I got an email which reads, "Hey J-Man, so how are we going to light this scene to make it look all Hannibal Lecter scary interview scene, considering we filmed it all in a brightly lit office?" And that was from Shania. Well, Shania, what we're going to do is we're going to do this all in After Effects. We tried to film this so that we had this sort of scary looking interview scene. I'll drag that. Actually, I'll create a composition first here so you can see it on screen. We tried to film it in this darkly lit scene here where it's sort of a good cop, bad cop, and the perp who's over here, who's already in incarceration, already in these cells, and we've pulled him out so that we can interview them. This was actually filmed, as Shania says, in a bright office, and what we did is we green screened a photograph behind here, which is of some cells leading up to a dismal looking corridor here, and we wanted to sort of try and recreate the sort of Hannibal Lecter type scene, you know, sort of Silence of the Lambs interview scene where, when you look behind the actual corridor, you see that Hannibal Lecter is in this grey, stony prison cell, high security type thing, and we've tried to recreate that using a green screen behind here. So the talent here was filmed in an office, and we green screened this back out and we put in this scene here, which is a photograph. But what I want to do is to try and animate it to make it look as though it's part of this scene. So I want like a flickering light. I want like a light that's not working properly, so we'll make this flicker in the background. So that's what we're going to do. So here, as I say, I've actually made this composition. So we'll start off by going layer, new solid, and just make sure it's comp size and make sure that's black, and we say OK. And from that we'll go now to Effect, Generate, and we'll generate a lens flare. And there's a lens flare there. You select that node and align it so it's central here. So, oops, a bit more centrally, just sort of there, so it sort of centralizes it like that. Then we change this to a 105mm prime, so now it looks like that. What we're going to do then is go back to the effects, come down to color correction, and we will select curves. And what I want to do is I want to sort of crunch down a little bit on this black. So I'm just going to alter the curves by just trying to squeeze down the black there. There we go. A little bit more, sort of there. Squeeze down the black there. Then we go back up to effects. We go down to hold on. We go down to color correction again. Then we go down to hue and saturation. And what we do then is you click on colorize, and we're drawing in that sort of red, sort of halo-y type feel there. It's a bit too pinky red, so what I'll do is I'll diminish that. Yeah, about that 18, so it's sort of pinky type color there. That's good. Come down to transfer mode to transfer, and make sure you then go select screen. Now we can see it composed on our footage. We then shift it up and position it over the top of the light that we want it to flicker, just sort of here. Rescale it by going down to transform, scale, and reduce its scale to about that. 20, about that. Yeah, there we go. So it's about there. So let's close that back up and see what that looks like. So there, it's there. We're going to make that light there flicker. Right. So then what we'll do now is we will select that light again and press T, then to bring up opacity, then alt-click the clock, the little stopwatch, to bring up the expression line, and in the expression line we will write wiggle, open parentheses 2, 2000, close parentheses, return, and right, we will then and that's what it's going to do. It's going to adjust the opacity, so it creates this flickering sort of look. So let's just I'm rendering at a 1/4 resolution here, so let's just take a look, see if the light now starts flickering. There we go. There's our flickering sort of broken light, which is in this dismal detention prison centre. Let's stop that. That's looking good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually try and draw an ambient light in there to try and brighten up the scene here and brighten up the subjects that are here. So what we are going to do now is, because we're going to bring a light into here, we've got to make sure that the footage itself is being converted to 3D, because the light will only work if this is a 3D composition here. So just make sure you've clicked that down to convert it to 3D. Then we will go to Layer, New Light, and we will put on an ambient light. Yeah, and we'll do it sort of, it's sort of pinky. Can you see here, sort of like this pinky colour, because the light back there is sort of pinky. Although this particular light won't be affected by that, it's independent of that. With this ambient light, it's going to be brightening this scene up here. So we say OK to that. We say OK, and it's brightened up the scene. So we got to now open that up, go down to Light Options, go to Intensity. Then we will lower the intensity so it's not so bright on the just to give it a bit of let's see, probably about there, still creates this eerie look in this awful place where this chap here has been incarcerated, and Special Agent Mel and the bad cop is interviewing him. So now let's have a quick look at this, see how that renders out. Let's collapse this lot, bring it back to the beginning, and now let's render it. And there we go, there's the scene. So we've got this flickering backlight, we've created some ambient light, brightened up these scenes and the subject area, and that's the end of the tutorial. I hope that was okay. Shania. Bye.
We have brought you here because something happened on the 10th of September 2010. Actually, this time last year. Would you know anything about that?
I can't remember that far back. I already stated I can't remember.
Let me put another question.
We're just wasting time here. We've got to get to the actual bomb.
I have got...
She's buried under there.